So you have someone who has an addiction and wants your help with hypnosis. What do you do and how do you prepare for it? And so this can be answered in so many levels, but particularly I want to talk to you today about assumptions, assuming that, a certain niche or a certain problem is because of XYZ. So for example, in a hypnosis group, the one person assumed that working with addictions, people who have addictions are just people who want to numb their emotions. So while at some part that could be true, meaning could, we don't really know that for sure until we work with a client, right? And this is really the biggest limitations when it comes to preparing for any of your sessions. So assuming you are having the strategy call or a sales call, whatever you want to call it, with your clients, and they want to they want to help with their addiction, and you're already assuming that it's because they want to numb their emotions. What does that do? And knowing about the mind and self-fulfilling prophecies by you assuming that they have a problem because XYZ, how do you think that affects your ability to help the client? It's going to be biased, right? It's going to be biased towards what you think. But how do you, as a practitioner, know for sure until you ask the client inside your session? It may be true. You may be completely true that they just want to numb their emotions. And at some level, that is for sure. It makes sense. It's very logical. But at the same time, you don't know how that particular client has linked um, how that particular client's mind has linked whatever they're addicted to XYZ things or A to Z things in their life, right? And that is really the juice that you want to learn about or you want your clients to learn about in the session. It's what have they associated with regards to the addiction that they have versus in their current experience now and how the mind has linked everything together. You, as the person with a conscious mind, cannot simply just sit there and psychoanalyze a client who you really haven't had a session with, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So that's why it's really important for us hypnotists and coaches to never assume that we know better than our clients because we don't. In some ways, we are more educated about the mind and associations, and maybe you have a lot of knowledge with regards to the niche people and problem that you help solve. But at the same time, how that particular client has come to that part of their problem is something that you won't really know until you actually go through the hypnotic interview and ask them questions about the problem. So never assume because that really limits your ability to help a client. When you're just curious as to how this problem manifested for this client, your breakthroughs are going to be faster because you're not allowing your own internal biases to steer the direction a certain way. You're just able to have that openness to allow for your clients to open up their mind and really allow you to explore what their problem truly is. So never assume. Let the client tell you what their associations are. Be curious when you're interviewing them, and then just help them to find whatever payoff that they have unconsciously with regards to this. And that's when your client's life will change. And I know that that is easier said than done, which is why we focus a lot on this inside our conversational hypnosis trainings. Like literally every training is 10 to 12 hours of just allowing ourselves to be curious and having the students to unlearn how they were taught because of the biases that we have had when we learn how to become hypnotists, right, and coaches. So by being able to be curious, and that's why conversational hypnosis sessions get to the root problem very quickly, is because we're maintaining this act and this inner vibe of curiosity whenever we are working with our clients, because that is really what helps them to open up with us and help them achieve faster breakthroughs.